What's happening, YouTube? KitePlanet here, or Kite if you're like that. Some people aren't like that, but I'm like that. You ain't like that. You ain't like that. Okay, you can see what I got on. I got on the Berserk Guts embroidered hoodie in honor of my last video before this one, where I gave Guts a Hatsu, a nin ability. So if you haven't seen that, go show some love. Go check that out. I think once you get into that video, you'll actually be very interested. Trust. I wouldn't steer you wrong. Come on now, it's me. So yeah, we're gonna take a different route today. Normally we've been creating Hatsu or nin abilities for people, but my goal is not to just do nin. I want to bring every fan from every verse to this channel so we can all talk and discuss. Everything doesn't have to be a versus battle. You can bring people together and create things instead of dividing them. So that's my goal. Subscribe and like if you like these videos, of course, and you want to see more. Drop your ideas in the comments as well. That way, when you drop your ideas, these videos become a perpetual motion machine, essentially, because you drop ideas, I see them, and I'm like, that's a good idea. I use that idea maybe in another power system or another video, and it just is an endless cycle. It's a beautiful thing that we could create here. So show some love, like, comment, subscribe. So we're going a different route. Nin can be kind of confusing, and it hurts my brain when I make those nin abilities. It doesn't hurt, but after I make those videos, I have to take like a nap because I'm so tired from thinking and doing all this stuff and editing, and it makes me really tired. So I wanted to take a different route and bring in Bleach's verse, Bankai. So today we're going to be giving Arthur Boyle from Fire Force a Bankai. Tell me that doesn't sound fire. That's fire. Arthur Boyle with a Bankai would be absolutely just a magnificent sight to behold. So we're going to do that. And let's just get right into it. I don't want to waste any more time because this video is probably going to get kind of long, but you'll enjoy that. The people who enjoy this like longer videos. So we still got to keep the main thing, guys. That doesn't change when we change power systems. So we need to establish a name for Arthur's Zanpakuto. I did my research, as I always do, tried to find a pretty good name that kept some aspects from his own verse while bringing in new ones from the Bleach verse. All right, so I settled on one, and I think you guys will like it. So the Zanpakuto's name is Wakusei. So that just means planet cleaver. Is that cool? Wakusei, planet cleaver. Now, next we have to establish the Zanpakuto type, and I decided, hey, plasma, lightning, we gotta give him a lightning type Zanpakuto. The difficulty with creating a Bankai where it's not the same as nin. They're two different types of difficult. Nin is like trying to create something while staying in parameters, whereas a Bankai is like keeping it on theme. So you might be like, okay, you gave him a lightning type Zanpakuto or plasma type, same thing. Lightning is made of plasma. Why didn't you name it something lightning related? Well, because I wanted to pay homage to Arthur's final attack from the manga, the Violet Flash Earth Divider. So I took Earth Divider, got some synonyms, and created Planet Cleaver. So yeah, forgive me for taking some liberties there, the true Bleach fans. I just wanted to, give some respect to Arthur. You got to do that. So Wakusei is the name of the sword, the Zanpakuto, Planet Cleaver. And then we have, it's a lightning type. There's only like one other person in the Bleach verse that even has a lightning type Zanpakuto. I think it's Chojuro Sasakibe. That's the lieutenant for Yamamoto, the first squad. So we're already in uncharted territory here. There's only one other person with this type. And dude, Chojuro didn't even like have any screen time for real. We saw a little glimpse of what his ability could do, but not really. So we're in uncharted territories here. Get excited because I'm excited. All right. So now it's only right. We have to figure out the release command for his Shikai. What should the release command be? So I came up with the release command Tochaku, which means reach. So the full Shikai release command would be Tochaku Wakusei, which means reach Planet Cleaver. And why I chose reach? Well, let me explain it to you. You ever been in those stores, those little trinket stores, and you have the glass ball that has the little Tesla coil in it, and it has like the little lightning buzzing off of it, and you touch the glass, and the little plasma tendril reaches out to where your finger is touching and like emanates right there. So it's reaching out. So I was like, okay, lightning, reach out. Like plasma, it reaches. So let's use the release command reach. I hope you're following me and that makes sense. So I like that. Let's try to release our Shikai right here. I don't want to give Arthur too deep of a voice actor. So I was going to go Tochaku, but that's not Arthur. So we're going to go Tochaku Wakusehocho. So that's him activating his Shikai. Now we got to get into what the Shikai does. What happens when he goes Tochaku Wakusehocho? So this is the fun part. So first, his katana, you get a Zanpakuto, your Asauchi, I guess is what they call it. And it's a katana. When Arthur uses Shikai and releases it, Tochaku Wakusehocho, it turns into an English broadsword, something a knight would carry. It's only respectable we give him a knight's weapon for his Shikai. So it turns into a massive broadsword. Huge. Like the reach is long. It's a heavy sword. Not easy to swing, but it's Arthur. He can figure it out. That's not the only thing though, because you have some people like Chodro, let's just use him for example. His sword turns into like a rapier and it becomes really sharp, but I don't think it has any qualities of like a lightning Zanpakuto. At least it hasn't been shown. It just makes his sword really fast and sharp. So we're not going to go that route. We're going to give him some actual powers with it. So when it turns into a broadsword, once it makes contact with the opponent, like cuts him or clashes swords, it creates an electrical charge on that person and their weapon. And the charge, as you keep making contact over and over again, the charge gets stronger. And what that ultimately leads to is Arthur's sword is the other charge, which draws his sword to you, to the opposite charge. So as he swings, his swings continue to get stronger and faster as he keeps making contact. Imagine someone swinging a giant broadsword over and over again. It's like boom, 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 and the charge keeps growing as he makes contact, and just it starts moving so fast. I can't move this fast because I'll wipe out my entire headset. But say this, I said my headset, my setup. Say this pin is the sword. Like it starts off going boom, boom, and as the charge gets stronger, which each contact he makes, it eventually ends like that, and you can't block that. You cannot keep up with something like that, with the heaviness of that, with the speed of that. It just keeps growing and growing. There's no limit to it. The more you make contact, the more the charge increases between the sword or Arthur's sword and the body and the sword of the opponent. So maybe your sword will get broken. Your only two options are to either run away or activate your Bankai. But you don't want to activate your Bankai because then Arthur's going to activate his Bankai. Now let's talk about the Bankai. So we got the Shikai out of the way. Tochaku Wakusehocho. And it creates a giant English longsword, and every time it makes contact, the charge, the lightning charge, the plasma charge gets stronger and stronger and stronger, drawing the weapon faster and more powerful to the opponent every single time, and to the point where you just can't keep up with the swings or you can't keep up with the power, and it breaks your sword and cuts you in half. That's his Shikai. Pretty broken Shikai, but it's not too broken. Someone could defeat that. Like that wouldn't beat Yamamoto. That wouldn't beat Aizen, or that. There's a lot of people you can name that could beat it easily. So now let's move on to the Bankai. He's ran off his opponent. The opponent's like, I can't keep taking these. I gotta run away. I gotta activate my Bankai. So they activate their Bankai. Who cares what it is? It doesn't matter. We're gonna talk about Arthur's Bankai. So his Bankai release. We gotta talk about the true name of his Bankai. It's only right. So the Bankai release. First they go Bankai. So we're gonna say Arthur's is Bankai Wakusehocho Mirai to. Fuck, I fucked it up. Anyways, let me say it slow so I don't sound stupid. It's Wakusehocho Mirai to Kako no Ryo, which translates to future and past Lightning King. So that's what it is. Wakusehocho, future and past Lightning King, or Planet Cleaver, future and past Lightning King. So let's set the scene right here. Arthur's pulled up, you activated Bankai. He's like, all right. Well, first I need to start off by saying Arthur's Bankai is one of those Bankais that's banned from being used around allies. He cannot use it in the Soul Society. He cannot do it because it damages the people around him as well. There's just no, it's one of those where it's classified. You can't use his Bankai around other people Kind of like, anybody from Bleach you can name where they can't use it. Like Ryujin Jaka, you can't just use, or Zanka no Tachi, you can't just use that around people unless it's a dire situation. So he activates Bankai, Wakuse Hocho, Mirai to Kako no Raio. So that's past, future and past Lightning King. So what happens when he activates his Bankai? First of all, the sword movement is he takes his sword, his long sword, and jams it into the ground. And when he says that, when he goes Bankai, Wakuse no Hocho, Mirai to Kako no Raio, as he stabs the sword in the ground, lightning rains down from the sky and crashes onto the ground. But it doesn't crash into the ground and just starts hitting people randomly. It settles on the ground and basically levels the entire ground, and the lightning takes on the form of grass. So it's like grass lightning, and it replicates the grassy plains of England where the knights used to have their wars. So he creates the scene like a Braveheart scenery with his lightning, creates the grass, the lightning grass, and it surrounds the enemy. It doesn't hit them. It just traps them. So there's no way out from this Bankai. This is why you can't use it around your allies or around other people that you care about. It surrounds the enemy with lightning grass, so there's no way to run away on the ground. And then when that happens, ball lightning, which is actually a real phenomenon that occurs. Ball lightning. They're these little like soccer ball sized balls of lightning that float in erratic patterns. Millions upon millions of these summon themselves or draw up from the lightning on the grass, and they surround the skies around the enemy. So there's no way to go on the ground, and there's no way to go up or around it. You are surrounded, and that's that. So what these balls of lightning do, the real characteristics of this ball lightning that are real life, they have erratic patterns. They you can't tell what they're going to do. And sometimes when you hit them or they explode very forcibly and they cause damage. They can burn you, electrocute you. And so there's millions upon millions upon millions of these balls in the air, and Arthur basically just sends them to attack you. They attack you and you can try to deflect them or whatever. But another characteristic of these is that some of them, they don't react. They can pass through solid matter. These are real eyewitness testimony accounts of actual ball lightning in real life. They pass through walls. They pass through glass. So even if you go to hit one, it may pass, your weapon might pass through it and it may still hit you, but they're randomized and the movements are randomized. So you don't know which type of ball lightning you're going to get, and you don't know where it's going to come from. So you can't move on the ground. If you go to step outside of the circle from where the grass lightning is, you get electrocuted and that just freezes you. And of course, that's not going to kill you if it's a super strong opponent, but it's going to be very hard. And the balls are just going to keep attacking you. There's millions of these. You just can't get away from them. And so that's like the first attack of the Bankai. Now let's get to the final attack of Arthur's Bankai, and it's called Mole's Revenge. Mole is Jacques de Molay, who was the leader of the Knights Templar, and he was executed by, I think it was King Philip of France or something like that. And he cursed the king and all of his bloodline for the rest of his time, and they've all died. Like, King Philip's bloodline kept dying in strange and mysterious ways. And so he summons Mole's curse, which he draws his sword from the ground finally, pulling up all that lightning that was on the grass, covering his blade. Now his giant English broadsword looks like his sword from Fire Force. It's a giant, like, radiating light blue plasma lightning. And he says, Mole's Revenge. And he slices, and it creates a X-like lightning slash that homes in on the enemy. You can't get away from it. And it's full of all of that lightning on the ground. And it just homes in on the enemy, tracks them. No matter where they move, it follows them until it hits them and basically kills them. And he can fire off multiple of these because there's so much lightning covering the ground. So essentially, there's just no way to get away from Arthur's Bankai. If that makes sense. Let me know what you think about this ability, if it's too overpowered. But Arthur is overpowered. He is, I'm not going to get into it just because of, I don't want to spoil it, but Arthur is broken. And I think this Bankai suits him perfectly. Zanpak to named Wakuse Hocho, Planet Cleaver. Fitting for how powerful he is. His Shikai released Tochaku or Reach, Planet Cleaver. Bankai is Planet Cleaver, future and past king, because Night King Excalibur, our King Arthur, who wielded Excalibur, was named, his title was like the future and past king, or once and for all king. He's gonna be the king for eternity essentially. So I think this is fitting. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, there's no really, I don't have to connect it and make it work. Essentially, I just have to keep it on theme, and I think I did a really good job. The ball lightning was something I was really, really proud of. It's an actual phenomenon, and it's very interesting. We know little to nothing about it. It's perhaps theorized that ball lightning comes from primordial black holes. And I'm not going to go into the science of it because, nerding out. But let me know your thoughts. Imagine getting hit with the Wakusehocho and they fucking Mole's Revenge, boom, a X shape. Kind of looks like a Getsuga Tencho, but way more massive. And it just hunts you down, slices you, electrocutes you, and you essentially die. You get cleaved, bisected, dissected, vivisected, any type of sected you want. And that's it. Let me know your thoughts on this ability. Leave a like. Obviously, comment any other characters you want to see. If you made it to the end, I see that the Toji video was really popular. Guess what? Since it was, we got Gojo Sensei coming down the pipeline in that video, giving him a Hatsu. It's only right. So stick around, subscribe, and like for that, and I will catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.